Yo, what is going on, guys? Matt HQC here with a brand new video, and today we are talking about the future of Fallout 76, and more specifically, what's going on with expansions after the Pit is released. Now, by now, every Fallout player knows that Bethesda is bringing the Pit back into Fallout 76, and it's very, very exciting and a very new thing that people are kind of curious how it's going to work exactly. Is it going to be like a daily ops? Is it just going to be like a small little expansion area? Or are they trying to make it like a full-on Elder Scrolls Online, like a chapter-length release? Regardless, we don't fully know what is going on yet, and I don't believe Bethesda knows themselves. Regardless of what does happen with the Pit when it does release early 2022, I wanted to kind of speculate on what are they doing with this afterwards. So after they release the Pit, do they have any future plans of any other expansions, or are they just going to see how the Pit does and if players like it and go from there? Because if I was a betting man, and I kind of am, I would bet that they've already got the second expansion planned already, and they have a good idea of where they want to go with it after this, and I'm sure they have it tied into it in some way, shape, or form. Now, if I'm Bethesda and I see the Pit does very well, I'm going to be much more inclined to go ahead and release the second one a little bit sooner. But if let's just say the Pit doesn't do well, let's say it has issues, there's bugs like when 76 first came out, well, now there might be a small issue, and now I might take the second expansion that I want to do and I might, push it back just a little bit. Maybe I don't want to release it for another year or so, maybe 2 years, but at that point you're playing a dangerous game of, well, if it gets pushed back more and more, maybe it just doesn't release. So I think they've really been putting a lot of work into the Pit, and now that they've already got it finished, I'm going to assume that it's been done probably for a month or two now, and it's just kind of sitting and waiting, maybe doing a final few touches here and there, going through every now and then to make sure there's no bugs, everything's fixed, everything's solid, make sure the build's absolutely 100% what they want. So at this point, they just have free time, and I've been thinking about it, and the only thing I can come up with is the fact that they're doing a second expansion, more than likely. I'm sure it's already been started. At least the storyboard for it and the location have been started, I would assume. And something tells me for the second expansion, they are going to do a very big name kind of location release with it. The Pit's a great one to get started with. You don't want to just rush into, let's say, the Capital Wasteland, so Fallout 3 in Washington, D.C. area. So by releasing the Pit first and just going ahead and saying, hey, this is our expansion, this is how we're going to start doing expansions, you give fans the chance to really breathe and take it all in and say, okay, well, if this is what you're going to do, I'm excited to see what happens next and where we go from here. Versus if you jump straight in and say, hey, we're going to do it in the Capital Wasteland, you're going to see it before there was the whole issue with the water and everything else, way before the story of Fallout 3. Now you run into the issue of people comparing it directly to Fallout 3. Even though people are still going to compare it to Fallout 3, it's just inevitable. You give yourself a lot more wiggle room whenever you do it this way, where you just make the Pit first, and then let's say we'll go to the Capital Wasteland second, which is what I think they will actually end up doing. You give yourself much more room of creativity and, hey, we're gonna do it this way. We're not gonna do a full-fledged, giant map. We'll give you a few pieces and parts to the Pit or to the Capital Wasteland, and we'll go from there. Maybe if it's successful, we might do some updates, but other than that, that's essentially going to be it. So it's very smart of them to go that way versus just jumping in to say, hey, here's Capital Wasteland. I know it's not what you expect. It's not what you remember. Here it is. I have nothing else for you. I'm so sorry. So now when they do this, they give themselves the chance to really play with it, and I think that is going to be massive for what they want to do, because it's pretty obvious they want to stick on the East Coast. I don't know why, but the only West Coast Fallout game we've had in the last 20 years, okay, maybe not 20 years, in the last like 15 years is Fallout New Vegas, which wasn't even made by Bethesda Game Studios. It was actually made by Obsidian. So to me, it just makes too much sense that you start with something that the fans do have somewhat of an expectation for, but you can get away with doing a little bit less, and then once they've already seen that standard, you can kind of say, okay, here's our next expansion is the Capital Wasteland, which I think is already set in stone. I think they've already started it. There's already an idea of where they're going to go with it. I think the writing's all over the walls with just how they treat Fallout 3 as their child, which I fully understand. It was an outstanding game. It's amazing. Everyone loves Fallout 3 in some way or another. It's just how it's always been. It's how it always will be. Fallout 3 has a special place in so many of our hearts, as it was the first Fallout game we actually played. Now, I would be very surprised if they took it and said, okay, well now we're going out west. We're gonna have this crazy storyline of how the roads opened some way. Now we're in, I don't know, Missouri, or now we're up in upstate New York or something like that. That would be crazy. That would be completely off topic for Bethesda, but I would love to see it. That'd be so interesting to see instead of just going back to Capital Wasteland, which, you know, I can't really be mad if we do, but I do have a feeling if we do go to the Wasteland, we might end up causing some of the issues that you'll actually see in Fallout 3, which would be kind of cool. Like maybe we go back and we talk someone out of leaving the Brotherhood of Steel, and that's how the Brotherhood outcasts start. That would be actually really freaking sick. I don't know. I know it's really off topic, but it's just something that I kind of thought of when I was just sitting here looking at what are they doing for the Pit, wondering when they're going to release it, what's happening. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, because every time I think about it, it just makes too much sense that they're eventually going to have an expansion going to the Capital Wasteland, and if they don't, they're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities to cash out on that. It's something the fans obviously still want, as people still want a Fallout 3 Anniversary Edition or a Fallout 3 Remaster / remake, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm not surprised by anything at this point. Maybe they'll go completely off topic. They'll take us to Miami and completely render the Fallout Miami mod useless. I don't know. There's no telling. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see in the future in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.